Chapter 1735. Mom, didn't we talk about this? Don't worry, when the time is right I'll move out. I don't want to live in the Su family either. After all, this isn't my home. No matter how good the Su family treats me, I'm still an outsider, so I don't want to. Alright then, as long as you know what you're doing. Seeing this, Yang Merong didn't say anything else. Late at night, Huamin sat in the middle of the two cribs. Looking at the two identical children, she felt like she was in a dream. Just like that, she became the mother of two children. She didn't seem ready yet. She hadn't officially entered the role of a mother. Babies, I hope you can bless Daddy and come back soon to reunite with us. Huamin gently rocked the crib, his voice was also soft. Outside the door, Su Yu was holding a plate of warmed fruit for Huamin to eat. Because he was afraid of catching a cold, he specially soaked the fruit in hot water and prepared to give it to her. Just as he walked to the door, he heard Huamin talking to the children and talking to himself. He was expressing his longing for Qin Chu. For some reason, Su Yu felt a dull pain in his heart. He thought that he had already gotten over it and given up. He thought that he was cool enough, however, when he saw that Huamin still couldn't forget Qin Chu, he was still so sad that he wanted to die. Sometimes he selfishly hoped that Huamin would lose his memory. That way, he could be with her from the beginning. When Lady Su passed by, she saw her son standing dumbly at the door of Huamin's room. He was holding a plate of fruit in his hand, but he didn't go in. She suddenly understood something. You, come with me. Lady Su waved her hand and brought her son to the spacious study on the second floor. Mom, what's the matter? You didn't deliver the fruit just now, because you heard Huamin say something, right? Lady Su guessed. Su Yu lowered his head and remained silent. Mion has a husband. It's normal for her to miss her husband. She's not a fickle person. If she was with you right after her husband died, would you still love a woman like you? You like Mion, isn't it because of her character? I like how loyal and righteous she is. Mom, I know what you're talking about. I'm not angry at Huamin. I suddenly feel, you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel wronged? Do you think you can get Mion's heart? No matter how many things you do, you can't get Mion? Lady Su said after a moment of silence. Su Yu said, I'm not complaining. I don't regret what I've done to her. Even if she doesn't want to be with me, it doesn't matter. I just feel sad that after being with her for so long, I can't compare to the figure in my memory. What's there to be sad about? You should have expected this. Mion's not a child, she knows what to do. It's normal that she can't forget her husband, it means she's a sentimental person. Mom, you're right, I'm being too sentimental. Su Yu gritted his teeth and said in a low voice. I'm not saying you're being sentimental. What I mean is, son, there's nothing in this world that can't be yours. There's always something you can't have. Don't add to your troubles. The fact that Mion can live in our house and be with you every day is already a blessing from the heavens. Yes, I shouldn't be greedy. I should be content. Su Yu's eyes were a little sad as he sighed. Chapter 1736. It's late, go back and sleep. You have to work tomorrow. Lady Su waved her hand and sent her son away. Okay, I'm leaving then. Mom, you should rest early too. Lady Su nodded. When he left, Su Yu ran into his father again. Dad, I'm going back. You should sleep early. Okay. Mr. Su was still serious. When Mr. Su returned to the bedroom, he saw Mrs. Su crying. He put down the book in his hand, took off his glasses, walked over, and put his hand on her shoulder. What's wrong? Why are you crying? Honey, I feel so bad for you. I've never seen him so sad. It's because of Mion, right? Mr. Su was a discerning person and could tell at a glance. Lady Su nodded and gently wiped away her tears. No one can say for sure when it comes to relationships. Love is love, and if you don't love, you don't love. If Mion is with you because she's grateful to the Su family, that would be the real hurt. You're right. Sometimes I'm just a little greedy. If Mion's lover really doesn't come back and she continues to live with the Su family, sooner or later, she'll be moved by Yu's sincerity and be with him. Don't worry about the children. No one knows what will happen in the future. Maybe you will suddenly think things through and fall in love with another girl. You're right? But I know my silly son. I think it's harder to make him give up on someone he likes than to kill him. It's probably even harder to make him fall in love with another woman. Lady Su said worriedly, "You is an adult, he should know what to do. As parents, we should support his decision." Although Mr. Su was serious, he was very reasonable. Lady Su suddenly felt enlightened after hearing his words. "Honey, you're right. I'm overthinking it." On the way back to his private mansion, Suyu received a call from Tang Chuan. He went to a high-end club under the Tang Corporation. No one knew where Tang Chuan had gotten more than 20 people from, but they all looked quite young. As someone born in the 80s, Suyu felt that he was old looking at these crazy people born in the 90s. "Sit over here." Tang Chuan was in a good mood. If it wasn't his birthday today, Suyu really didn't plan to come. He didn't like to come to this kind of nightclub for a long time. She didn't even attend the company's dinner or the artist's celebratory banquet. Suyu was wearing a coffee-colored Versace t-shirt and black casual pants. He looked clean and handsome, especially manly. Compared to the post-90s rich second-generation heirs in the private room, he simply won in terms of temperament. Lord Su, hello, young Master Su. Good evening, young Master Su. President Su, you're here. Ever since they entered the private room, people kept coming up to greet them and propose toasts. However, Suyu nodded slightly and did not take a sip. He walked straight to Tang Chuan and sat down. Tang Chuan had two girls in his arms. They both had typical online celebrity faces and were not recognizable at all. Were they good-looking? They were definitely good-looking. It was just that after one glance, they would never be able to remember them. Because they were all done in the same hospital, their noses, mouths, and eyes were all the same. Look at you. You're clearly a Scorpio, a high-class constellation. You should be cold and aloof, but you make yourself look like a stud horse. You can't even go a day without a woman, Suyu immediately criticized. Chapter 1737. Many people wouldn't believe that Tang Chuan was a Scorpio, because a Scorpio wouldn't be so silly, talkative, or flirtatious. He didn't have the temperament of a Scorpio at all, okay? Tang Chuan laughed out loud. So I concluded that I'm not a typical Scorpio? I think so too. You might be the scum of the Scorpios, your genes mutated. Fuck, you humiliated me as soon as you came. You have to drink 3 glasses as punishment. After speaking, Tang Chuan took the initiative to raise his glass. It seemed like he was in a good mood. Suyu didn't argue and drank 3 glasses in a row. You two go play over there for a while. I have something to talk to Lord Su. Tang Chuan patted the butts of the 2 girls beside him. The 2 women swayed their butts and slowly got up. Only Tang Chuan and Suyu were left in the middle of the sofa. I haven't drunk with you like this in a long time. It seems like everything started after you met Huamin. You've changed so much. Do you regret it? Tang Chuan looked at Suyu's face seriously and asked word by word. No, then do you think it was worth it? It was worth it. Suyu answered without hesitation. Tang Chuan smiled bitterly. Actually, I'm quite envious of you. Really, it's a kind of happiness to have a woman that you can't love in your life. But for me, love is a kind of extravagant hope. My understanding of love is haha during the day and having sex at night, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the swimming pool. Young Master Tang, please control yourself and take care of your kidneys, Suyu joked. Tang Chuan smiled. I'm still young. My kidneys are fine. I can easily have 3 women in one night. This kind of life is pretty good, because you know what you need. Love without heart will never hurt. It has its pros and cons, Lord Su. My old man came to see me yesterday. The clan impeached you? Suyu raised his head and asked. It's not an impeachment. It's a threat. Threaten what? Suyu was startled. He wants me to marry that tigress from Fatso Lu's family. It's a family marriage, you know. Fatso Lu's daughter, I remember seeing her once. She's very pretty. Although she's a little fierce, it's not hard for you. After all, Fatso Lu only has one daughter. In the future, the Lu family will be easily merged with the Tang Corporation. Isn't that a bad thing? Su Yu analyzed the current situation for Tang Chuan. I've seen that woman many times, and we'll run into each other when we go out to play. She's not my type at all. Although she's pretty and has a good figure, she likes to act cool. I wanted to sleep with her once, but she held on to me tightly. She's playing hard to get. You know how bad my temper is, why would I fall for that? After that, I didn't even talk to her anymore. Instead, she took the initiative to look for me, and we messaged each other every day. When she was lonely and empty, she looked for me for drinks, and she asked me to go on a vacation abroad, but I didn't go even once. I gave her a chance, but she pretended to be cool with me, so she can't blame me for not playing with her anymore. Later on, I don't know if her brain was fried or what, but she actually told her father that she wanted to marry me. His father must be out of his mind as well, so he went straight to my old man and offered him a lot of things. The dowry made my old man very tempted. You know how powerful my old man is? He's been eyeing Fatso Lu's 4S store for a long time now, and he wanted to monopolize the automotive industry. This time, he hit it off, so he made the decision right away. She told me it wasn't a negotiation, it was an order, a threat. Do you understand? So, you're getting married? Su Yu asked calmly after hearing Tang Chuan say so much. Chapter 1738. I don't want to marry a pretentious prick. Let me put it this way, Lord Su, even though I'm an asshole who spent the first half of my life in a drunken stupor, I still think that maybe I'll meet a girl I like. Just like how you like Huamin, Gao Ran likes Zhu Lingling, Wei Liao likes Jiang Xiaowei, and Rick likes Cici, Tang Chuan said with a hopeful look in his eyes. At this moment, Su Yu suddenly felt that his friend was a little pitiful. It turned out that under his ridiculous appearance, he hid a heart that believed in true love. So, are you trying to run away from the marriage, or are you rejecting it? I haven't thought about it yet, but I definitely won't marry her. Tang Chuan's attitude was firm. Actually, sometimes, it's not bad to be matched in terms of social status. This kind of relationship with benefits will last longer than that kind of love. That kind of love doesn't come and it'll break up immediately. But a relationship with benefits can last a long time. Many families have been able to survive for hundreds of years because of marriage alliances. Your dad didn't do anything wrong. Fuck, you're not the one getting married. You're just standing there and talking. Don't you think your kidneys hurt? Su Yu laughed evilly. What if Lord Su pressured you to marry a woman you don't love and give up on Dr. Hua? What would you do? That's not true because no one in the Su family can pressure me. I'm the only one who can pressure them. Fei, you win. You bastard, I just wanted to complain to you, but you're torturing me. Su Yu picked up his wine glass. Come on, we're about to get married because of you. Cheers. Go away. You should be more realistic if you wish me a happy birthday. Happy birthday, young Master Tang. I wish you to be a groom every day and change your bride every day. That's good, this is so down to earth. I'll accept it. By the way, where's my birthday present? I knew you wanted to extort money from me. Su Yu rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan. Tycoon Su, you're rich and have a lot of money. You even gave the twins a cruise ship that's worth hundreds of millions. What do you want? Lamborghini's sixth element, okay? Tang Chuan Su Yu's for 3 years. Because it was a limited edition, it took a lot of effort to buy it. There were only 12 of them in the world. There's only one in China. It's in Su's 6 Su Yu's tea. Impossible. Su Yu refused without hesitation. I can give you money. Can I buy it? Su's lumbo. No, not interested. Tang Chuan pouted. Su Yu laughed. To be honest, the twins and I are both Scorpios and we're both born in October. We're only a few days apart. Is it okay for you to be so biased? Why don't you lend the twins' cruise ship to me? They're still young after all. Tang Chuan's imagination was running wild. Don't even think about it, it's custom-made for them. All the details are pink. That's why it's called the princess. You're even closer to them than your own daughters. By the way, why didn't you tell Huamin that she won't refuse to be the twins' godfather? I don't want to give her a hard time. This is already good enough, Su Yu said with satisfaction. So you're going to stay like this forever? 10 or 20 years from now? Lord Su, I suddenly have a good idea. Do you want to hear about the relationship between you and Huamin? Tang Chuan's mind raced as he suddenly had an idea. Chapter 1739. Let's hear it. Su Yu held up his wineglass and looked at Tang Chuan proudly. Under normal circumstances, he didn't think highly of Tang Chuan's bad ideas, because he was always so unreliable. How about this? Tell me first, when will the little princesses use the cruise ship? Tang Chuan asked excitedly. At least 3 or 4 years old, they're still too young. I don't dare to take them on, I'm afraid something might go wrong, Su Yu thought to himself. Then let's wait 3 or 4 years. If Qin Chu doesn't come back and Huamin is still alone, then you can hold a birthday party for the little princesses on the cruise ship and propose to them on the spot. Give it a try. I think the chances of Huamin rejecting you are very low. First of all, if Qin Chu doesn't come back in 3 or 4 years, Huamin's heart will be filled with despair. Second of all, if you quietly accompany her for a few years, it will slowly seep into her heart. Whether it's Huamin or the twins, they will all love you as much as they love you. So, I think the timing is right. After hearing this, Su Yu wanted to immediately refute, but he didn't know what to say. Because he actually felt that Tang Chuan's words made sense. When the time came, maybe Huamian would give him a chance. Who said that there were no surprises in life? How would he know if he didn't try? But what if the proposal doesn't work? Wouldn't that be awkward? Su Yu quietly said. What's there to be awkward about? You guys are still friends. The little princesses will definitely love you and won't be able to leave you. When the time comes, they will speak up for you. Don't worry, I'll think about it. After speaking, Su Yu excitedly picked up a glass of wine and downed it in one gulp. After Mayor Song fell from power, Huasiqian found someone to take the blame for Song Yishi's murder. Huamin went from being released for medical treatment to being directly rejected. She did not expect it to happen so quickly. Huamin continued living with the twins at the Su family's house. In his heart, there was a sliver of hope that Qin Chu could still come back. In a luxurious private hospital in Russia, the door of the operating theater opened and Qin Chu walked out. Dressed in a white coat, he looked incomparably cold. Under her peerless face, there was a trace of sadness. How is it? Can Xiao Fei be saved? Lu Yan was rarely this anxious. When she found out that Xiao Fei had been shot in 5 places in his chest, her heart almost broke. She had known Psycho Qiao since she was young and had always thought that he was an unkillable cockroach. He had never thought that he would be so close to death one day. Lu Yan couldn't imagine what she would do if Xiao Fei really died this time. With the address her father gave her, she easily found Qin Chu. He also successfully persuaded him to perform the surgery for Xiao Fei. The operation lasted for 5 whole days. They did it once a day and removed 1 bullet each time. For everyone, it was a long and torturous process. All the bullets have been removed. He's still in critical condition. We still need to observe him and see if he wants to live. So, don't get your hopes up. I'm not a miracle doctor. Qin Chu's words left Lu Yan speechless. Was this person really her brother-in-law? Why was he as cold as a polar bear? He didn't laugh even once in 1,000 years. How could her sister stand him and love him so much? Anyways, thank you for coming. Lu Yan thanked him sincerely. It seemed like her dad was right. In the whole world, only Qin Chu had the confidence to save Xiao Fei. All 5 bullets were in sensitive places. No doctor would dare to perform the surgery. Even a genius like Qin Chu took 5 days to remove 1 bullet each day. He was so cautious. She didn't know if Xiao Fei would wake up. Lu Yan's heart sank at the thought. Don't thank me, I'm doing this for your sister, Qin Chu said faintly. Then, he took off his white coat. Then, he took out an obsidian crutch and walked out step by step. You didn't go back to my sister for so long because of the wound on your leg? Lu Yan asked behind Qin Chu. Chapter 1740. Qin Chu paused his steps slightly. If I go back like this, she'll be even more worried. It's better not to see her. But, how do you know what she's thinking? Maybe she doesn't care about this at all. Even if you were crippled, I don't think she'd care. She's such a stubborn person. But I don't want a man to walk with crutches while carrying the woman he loves. You're really selfish. You made the decision for my sister. But I don't think that's the only reason you don't want to go back. You must have done a lot of research on Wuxia when he was studying in Germany, right? Yes, Qin Chu admitted honestly. What a coincidence. I'm doing the same and have some leads. Do you want to share the information? Lu Yen asked. You don't have the right to negotiate with me right now. Don't forget, I just finished your man's surgery. Qin Chu became arrogant. Lu Yen, okay. If Psycho Qiao really wakes up, I'll owe you a favor. You can pay me back however you want. Not for now. Are you going back to the States? Yeah. Qin Chu nodded. Did you know that your sister gave birth to twin girls? Yeah. Do you know their names? Zhao Zhao and Mumu. Qin Chu's eyes instantly softened. Their nicknames are Pudding and Little Bean. They sound like a pair of clowns. Qin Chu, you're really lucky. My sister was able to withstand all the pain and was strong enough to give birth to your babies. I'll pay her back what I owe her. After saying this, Qin Chu slowly walked out of the hospital. The Qiao family wasn't familiar with Qin Chu, so Mr. Qiao kept asking Lu Yen about him. Little Yen, is the doctor who performed the surgery reliable? Will Qiao Fei wake up? My father strongly recommended this person, and I guarantee that there's no problem. He's a medical genius. He graduated from Harvard Medical School and has performed many difficult surgeries. He was once the chief surgeon for a high-ranking official in China. My father also said that if he can't save me, then all the doctors in the world will be helpless. I'm relieved to hear that. What did he say? When will Qiao Fei recover? I'm not sure yet. There will be a critical period of 48 hours after the surgery. Once it's over, he should be fine. That's good, that's good. The two elders of the Qiao family stayed in the ward, looking haggard. The Qiao family was the largest Chinese mafia in Russia. Their ancestors had been in the arms business for over 60 years. His family was extremely powerful and had a lot of face in front of the various gangs in the world. Even the local mafia in Russia had to give them face. Which son of the Qiao family is this? Qiao Fei was the youngest and the third in line. He was also the most favored child in the family. He was thought highly of by the elders and was the next candidate for the alliance head. He did things swiftly and decisively, without the slightest hesitation. He was very much like alliance head Qiao when he was young. Therefore, when Qiao Fei got shot this time, it caused a huge uproar. Uncle Qiao, did you get someone to investigate Qiao Fei's injury? Lu Yen asked. It should be Ian's men who did it. It's not the first time Ian and Qiao Fei fought, but he's never been injured so badly. I suspect that things aren't as simple as they seem, so you're saying? There are other people inside? Mr. Qiao looked at Lu Yen warily. Chapter 1741. I suspect there's a mole who might have sold out Qiao Fei's itinerary and location. I think you should investigate it from the inside. Now that you mention it, I do remember. Something is indeed wrong. Honey, Yan's right. You have to investigate it. Our son almost died. Are my brothers in Russia? Lu Yen asked casually. No, Xiao Imo is in Jerusalem, and Xiao Nan is in Belgium. Oh? Lu Yen was deep in thought. You suspect that one of them attacked Qiao Fei? Mr. Qiao immediately asked. No. I'm just asking, uncle, don't overthink it. Lu Yen was very careful with her words in the Qiao family. Mrs. Qiao stood up and held Lu Yan's hand. Yen, Qiao Fei has a weird temper, but he's cared about you all these years. Now that he's in this state, I hope you can stay by his side until he wakes up, okay? I'm begging you. Andy, don't be like this. You're too polite. Our families have been friends for generations, and my father and you are old friends. Qiao Fei and I are very good friends. I won't leave him alone. Don't worry, I'll stay. That's good, that's good. Mr. and Mrs. Qiao stayed in the ward for a while before returning to the headquarters. Lu Yen was alone in the ward with Qiao Fei. His silver hair that was whiter than snow had lost its former luster at this moment. His originally pale face was even paler. He wore an oxygen mask on his face. Lu Yen had lived her life in bloodshed since she was a child, licking blood from knives. She rarely worried about anything, because she was used to a life where she could die at any moment. Xiao Fei had never confessed to her, but they all knew that the two families had an arranged marriage. When Mrs. Qiao was pregnant with Xiao Fei, she was very close to Lu Yan's mother. Xiao Fei was a little older than Lu Yan, so the two families joked about marriage. But who knew that Lu Yan had been avoiding Xiao Fei? She never mentioned marriage, and Xiao Fei didn't talk much either. But every time Lu Yan was in danger, he would be the first one to step forward. The reason he had a grudge with Ian was because of Lu Yan. Ian was the world's top terrorist. He was also bisexual, a murderous psychopath to the extreme. For some reason, he was obsessed with Lu Yan and wanted to capture her alive. He had always wanted to capture Professor Lu and use him to develop the world's most advanced biochemical weapons. Unfortunately, he never had the chance. Lu Yan and Ian were playing a game of cat and mouse. Xiao Fei, on the other hand, was dragged into this mess because of Lu Yan. Xiao Fei's injury had nothing to do with Lu Yan, so she felt very guilty. Winter in Russia was especially long. When it was summer in other places, it might still be covered in snow here. Lu Yan was wearing a simple white blouse and a short black skirt, revealing her sexy thighs. She walked around the room with her arms crossed. He felt extremely uneasy. She looked around, but there was no one around. She carefully walked to the bed. Hey, Psycho Qiao, don't play dead. Wake up. I haven't had enough fun with you yet. I still want to see who's faster with a knife, who's more accurate with a gun, and who's better at fighting. After she finished speaking, she looked at Xiao Fei's face. There was no reaction. She bit her lip and gently grabbed Xiao Fei's hand. Chapter 1742. His hands were cold and not warm at all. Lu Yan was a little nervous. This was the first time she had such intimate skin contact with Xiao Fei. Lu Yan was suddenly very scared. She was really scared. If Xiao Fei never woke up, what would she do? So, she held Xiao Fei's hand without caring about her image. She carefully placed it on her cheek to warm him up. Xiao Fei, wake up quickly. From now on, I won't hide from you or make you angry anymore. When you're better, we'll go find that psycho Ian and fight to the death. We'll beat him until his grandma doesn't recognize him. At this moment, Lu Yan's watch beeped. She put down Xiao Fei's hand and stood up. I'm Lu Yan. What is it? Boss? There's a big order in Spain for 200 million yuan. Do you want to take it? Take yours. I don't have time right now. No, I won't take any orders for the time being. Okay. What else? I bought the gift for your nieces. I've already bought it. Do you want me to give it to them now? Or wait? Wait my ass. If not now, when will you give it to them? Do you want to wait until my twin nieces get married? I got it, boss. Is there anything else? If not, I'm hanging up. Before her subordinate could say anything, Lu Yan hung up. She had a terrible temper and was extremely irritable. Perhaps it was because she spent every day fighting and killing. And the thing she came into contact with the most was either guns or explosives. That was why she had no patience. Even her old man didn't talk to her about family matters, because he was afraid that the father and daughter would quarrel. She was different from her sister. Ever since Lu Yan found out about her sister, she had been silently paying attention to her. She wanted to look for her many times, but she was worried that she would drag her sister into this, so she held back. In Lu Yan's heart, Huamin was a very calm person who rarely lost control and became irritable. She was completely different from her. She longed for a sister like her. She longed for her sister to love her. At the Su family mansion, ever since Huamin gave birth to the two babies, her life had changed drastically. Because she didn't have much milk, she fed them powdered milk. However, she found that the little ones had a lot to do every day. One moment he peed, the next moment he pooped, and the next moment he was in a bad mood and cried. Then he would ask Huamian to hug him like a spoiled child. Huamian was exhausted and sleep-deprived. Fortunately, there were many nannies in the Su family, and Lady Su and her mother were by her side. Otherwise, Huamin would have nowhere to turn for help. Huasiqian suddenly had a conscience. For some unknown reason, he found someone to replace Song Yisher in her death. The The police and the court also announced on the media that Huamin and Qin Chu had been cleared of wrongdoing and that the real culprit had been apprehended. Now that the murder case was closed, she was finally relieved. No one continued to hold on to this matter and say that the Su family was harboring a murderer. Huamin would be able to move around more freely. He would no longer be afraid to appear in public like before. She even wanted to find time to have a meal with everyone after the confinement to thank everyone for visiting the baby. On this day, Huamin was in a particularly good mood because of a visitor. "Dr. Hua, look who's here to see you." Suyu came in and said with a smile. Huamin was sleeping leisurely with a baby in his arms. When he saw the person behind Suyu, he was a little excited. "Why are you here?" Huamin immediately handed the baby to his mother. Then he went up to greet her warmly. Chapter 1743. Huamin hadn't seen President Wu in a long time, and he felt a sense of familiarity. "It's been so long and you're already a mother." President Wu was wearing a dark gray Chinese tunic suit, and his face was as serious as ever. However, when he looked at Huamin, his eyes were filled with a rare kindness. "Please have a seat, I'll go make tea." Huamin was a little excited. Suyu held her arm. "I'll go make tea. You stay here and chat with President Wu." "Okay, sure." Huamin looked at Suyu gratefully. He went straight into the pantry in his suit and made tea without caring about his image. He poured tea and water, working hard without complaint. Huamin knew that Suyu was so gentle because of her. "I haven't come to see you for so long, not because you're a murderer. I have to avoid suspicion. It's because you're in a bad mood. I don't think it's useful to say more. You're a smart person and you have to figure out many things on your own. Now that the clouds have parted, it's good to see the moon." "I understand, Principal. If you're afraid of getting into trouble, you don't have to talk to me. But I heard from Xianxia that whenever you go to Southside for an inspection, you'll always ask about me. I'm very grateful. After you left Southside, there weren't any outstanding doctors in the neurology department. I wanted to find an opportunity to ask you, when are you going back to work?" "I'm afraid I can't go back now. The two kids make me dizzy every day, and I don't even have enough sleep. I understand. It's all mothers." "All right, I bought this for the kids, and Xiaoxue bought this for the kids." President Wu took out 2 brocade boxes from his bag. One was a pair of golden longevity locks. The other was a pair of golden bracelets. "It's good that you're here. You don't have to give me gifts. I'm so embarrassed." Huamin smiled. "I know you don't lack money. These aren't expensive, they're just my kind intentions." "Did Xiaoxue come back?" Huamin asked. "No, Xiaoxue's baby can already speak a lot. I plan to send him to kindergarten in a few months. The education there is very advanced." "Then, Ningxin, how is he with Xiaoxue now?" "Ever since he went to America, he has changed his ways. He and Xiaoxue have retaken their medical license and opened a private clinic. It's pretty good. I went there once a while ago and saw them. He's much more mature than before. He's especially good to Warm Moon and knows how to be considerate to Xiaoxue." That's good, that's good." Huamin smiled. "Huamin, it's been so long. You've already given birth to the child. In your heart, are you still unable to let go of Qin Chu?" President Wu asked lovingly. "Yeah, I've never let it go." Huamian nodded and confessed honestly. At this moment, Suyu walked out with a cup of tea. Hearing Huamin's answer, he was a little absent-minded for a moment. Although he clearly knew the answer, he still had that kind of feeling of loss and gain. Suyu put down the tea and smiled at Huamin. "I'm going upstairs to see my princess. You guys talk." Huamin nodded. President Wu looked at Suyu's back meaningfully, as if he had something to say. "Mian, if Qin Chu is really dead, Director, I believe he's still alive." Huamin stopped President Wu. Chapter 1744. She didn't want to hear President Wu say the same things he said to her mother, like, "If Qin Chu can't come back, you should consider Suyu." First of all, Suyu wasn't a spare tire, so he couldn't give up his position just because Qin Chu came back. If Qin Chu couldn't come back, then it wouldn't be fair to Suyu. Second of all, she knew that she didn't love Suyu. They were together not because of love, but because of gratitude. She didn't think that the two of them would be happy together for the rest of their lives. Third of all, she believed that Qin Chu was still alive, definitely. Even if everyone said that he was dead, she believed that he was still alive. It was just that he couldn't come back for some reason. Sometimes, when Huamin was stubborn, it was as if he was possessed by the devil. Okay, it's good that you think that way. At least you have something to remember. I came today because I wanted to see you. I'm relieved that you're doing well. If you can let go of the kids in the future, and if you're bored, you're welcome to come back to work anytime. You can choose whether you want to work at Southside or the First Hospital. You can also choose the department you want. Thank you for your appreciation, Director. I'll think about it. Professor Luo called me the other day and recommended you. He said that with your talent, it's a shame that you don't want to be a doctor. He knows that you won't work in Jing City, so he kept urging me to persuade you to go back. But I know that you have your own ideas and plans, so I respect your choice. Thank you. Huamin was very touched by President Wu's words. After President Wu left, Huamin went upstairs to see the babies. She saw this scene filled with love. Suyu was wearing a white shirt with a wide open collar. His collarbone was exposed. It was very well shaped. He was lying on the white carpet. He was holding pudding in his left hand and little bean in his right. Rather than holding them, it was more like he was hugging them. He didn't use too much strength. He didn't want to scare the babies. The two little fellows in his arms became abnormally quiet. They even seemed to be smiling. Hey, Mom. And Yang, look, aren't they smiling at me? Suyu was delighted. That seems to be the case. She's so young, yet she still has such an expression. She's so cute. Lady Su's heart was about to melt. Yang Meirong said with a smile, my two granddaughters are as smart as their mother. I remember when I gave birth to Mion, she was the same. It's only been 100 days, but she seems to understand a lot of things. There's something in her eyes. At that time, Jingde even said, look at this child, she's going to become a demon. Huamin stood at the doorway, silently watching the scene unfold before him. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that Suyu treated her babies as if they were his own. Ever since the baby was born, Huamin felt that he had almost lost his status. Whether it was her mother, Mrs. Su, Mr. Su, or Lord Su. They were all staring at the babies. They snatched to hold them and took turns to play with them. It was a happy and harmonious life. Suyu didn't need to be mentioned. He drove home as soon as he got off work and stayed until the babies fell asleep. Those who didn't know better would really think that they were his biological children. Huamin wasn't a cold-hearted person. She knew that Suyu was good to her. Her feelings for the babies also originated from the love for the house, the love for the crows. Young master, it's time to change the baby's diapers. The nanny walked over and reminded him softly. Only then did Suyu reluctantly take the two little guys off his body. Then he looked up and saw Huamin standing at the door. President Wu left? He asked. Huamin nodded. That's good. I have something to discuss with you. Suyu stood up and adjusted his collar. Okay, go ahead. Huamin and Suyu turned around and went to the study next door. Chapter 1745. Do you have any thoughts about the baby's 1-month-old celebration? Not yet. Isn't there still more than 10 days? Huamin was surprised. But it'll be there soon. Grandpa wants to celebrate. After all, you've been cleared of murder charges. Aren't you afraid of being high profile? I don't want too many people. Plus, you know that I don't really socialize. I only have a few close friends. I just want everyone to get together and have a meal. I'll listen to you. Suyu nodded. Suyu, I've actually thought about it. I want to move out after the babies are a month old. Why? Suyu was surprised. Because my identity isn't sensitive anymore. I'm not a murderer anymore, so I'm not afraid of gossip. South Hill Manor is still empty, and I like it there. I want to go back. Aren't you afraid that Hua Xiqian will hurt you and the babies? After all, he's a scheming person. I'm not afraid. I can't always be afraid. I can't hide from him forever. I plan to face him head-on. You've really thought it through? I've been here since I got pregnant. I've really troubled you guys. It's no trouble. My family likes you very much. When Suyu said this, his eyes were full of affection. I know, but I can't always live like this. It's really inconvenient. Before, I was afraid that the babies would be in danger because I was pregnant. Now that the babies are born and my mother is back, I should move out. Suyu didn't want Huamin to move out, however, he didn't want to make things difficult for her, so after a few seconds of silence, he looked up. Okay, I'll listen to you. Upon hearing Suyu's words, Huamin smiled slightly. Then help me persuade Lord Su. I'm afraid they'll be upset. Okay, then let's hold the 1-month-old celebration here. Grandpa has been preparing for it for a long time. He even postponed some meetings so that the babies won't be a month old. Yes, we can go out and buy some things in the next few days and dress up a little every day. No, you're not out of confinement yet. Suyu immediately refused. It's okay, I'll wear more so that I won't catch a cold. After speaking, Huamin smiled faintly, Suyu couldn't resist Huamin's smile. No matter what she asked, even if he knew it was wrong. For some reason he would also agree. After discussing with Huamin, Suyu prepared to return to his villa to sleep. Huamin went downstairs and walked him to the parking lot. It's dark and the roads are slippery. Drive slowly. Suyu's heart felt warm. He felt that Huamin's tone was like a wife telling her husband something. Suyu, You're not young anymore. If it's possible, find a girlfriend. Don't be single. After Huamin said this, Suyu's heart sank. Do you want me to find one? Suyu looked at Huamin with a lonely gaze. Do you want to hear the truth? Yes. Suyu looked at Huamin. I really want you to find one. You're the only son of the Su family. Mother Su, Father Su, and Lord Su all want you to start a family soon and have grandchildren soon. You can't always live for yourself. Sometimes, you have to think about your family. Thank you for your advice. I'll think about it. Suyu was a little angry. He lowered his head and started the car. Before Huamin could say anything, the Lamborghini sped out into the night. Huamin knew that he was angry. Although some words sounded cold-blooded and cruel, Huamin had to say them. She couldn't let Suyu stay in his dream forever. That would be cruel to him. Just then, Huamin's phone suddenly rang. She looked at it and saw that it was a string of random numbers. She couldn't find the source. After hesitating for a moment, Huamin picked up the phone. Hello? No one spoke on the other end, but Huamin could clearly hear the breathing on the other end, even though it was very weak. Hello? Who are you looking for? Huamin repeated. Chapter 1746. There was still no response from the other side. For some reason, Huamin suddenly had a strong feeling in her heart. Qin Chu, is that you? Huamin couldn't suppress her excitement. There was still no response from the other side. Huamin didn't even think about whether or not it was a pervert who called to harass her, or whether or not it was a child's prank. Because she felt that the person on the other end of the phone wanted to hear her voice. Qin Chu, if it's you, can you say yes? Even if you can't come back now, at least let me know that you're still alive. Huamin's voice trembled slightly. 3 seconds later, the phone was hung up. There was a beeping sound. Huamin frantically picked up her phone and dialed the number on the screen. Sorry, the number you have dialed is not available. Please check it before dialing. Upon hearing this, Huamin's heart sank again. Why was it not available? Why was it not available? Wasn't that the number that called her just now? She was a little agitated and wanted to find someone to talk to, but she also felt that everyone must be hallucinating because she missed Qin Chu too much. But she knew that this wasn't a hallucination. Seattle, United States. Qin Chu hung up the phone. He let out a long sigh and got up slightly. He almost couldn't help but talk to Huamin just now. But so what if he said something? Everything wasn't over yet. His leg still needed to undergo one last surgery to repair it. He didn't know if it would be permanently disabled or if he would be lucky enough to recover. He didn't want people to look at his wife and daughters strangely when they walked on the street. He couldn't allow people to say, "Hey, your husband is a cripple. Hey, your dad is a cripple." This was something that the proud Qin Chu absolutely couldn't tolerate. In the night, Qin Chu held a precious photo in his hand. It was a photo of Huamin wearing a pink confinement suit and holding Pudding and Little Bean. She lowered her head and smiled gently. At that moment, it was as if the whole world could become beautiful because of her smile. Qin Chu clutched the photo tightly. His fingers trembled slightly. I'm sorry. A few days later, Su Yu freed up a day to take Huamin out shopping. The two of them drove to the supermarket and bought a lot of decorations for the baby's 1-month-old celebration, such as balloons and Christmas trees. Although they were tired, the two of them were full of energy, especially Su Yu, who would buy whatever he saw. Huamin was still the rational one. Otherwise, the two of them would have to spend on impulse again. When it was almost noon, Huamin looked at his watch. It's already 12 o'clock. You must be hungry. Let's go eat. Sure. What do you want to eat? Anything is fine as long as it fills my stomach. I really don't have any energy left. Huamin laughed. How about Korean barbecue? Sure, but you have to promise me one thing, Huamin said mysteriously. What? Su Yu was confused. I have to pay, so I'll treat you, okay? Huamin winked at him and smiled. Sure. It's rare that Dr. Hua is in the mood to treat me, so I have to give him face. After speaking, the two of them couldn't help but laugh. After they bought everything, the seller delivered it to their doorstep. Huamin and Su Yu drove to a high-end Korean barbecue restaurant not far away. This restaurant was very crowded, and every time it was time to eat, they had to wait in line. The decoration was very good, and it was Korean tatame. Apparently, the beef was also very fresh, and people came in batches after batches because of its reputation. The two of them ate at least 1,000 yuan. However, there were still people waiting in line for such a high price. It was unbelievable. Looking at the crowd at the door, Huamin wanted to back out. There are so many people, let's go. When it's our turn, we'll starve to death. No, wait for me. After speaking, Su Yu walked over and said to a waiter. Chapter 1747. Tell your manager to come out. Please wait a moment. A minute later, the manager of the restaurant walked out. He was a chubby man in his 40s, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, and had a smile on his face. Before Su Yu could speak, he immediately walked over respectfully. Young Master Su, you're here. Why didn't you tell us in advance so we could prepare? It's okay. My friend and I were shopping nearby. It was a last-minute decision. Then please come in. Are there any seats left? I want a private room. Su Yu said domineeringly. Yes. Even if no one else has a private room, we'll save a seat for you. Young Master Shen told us to. Then, Huamin and Su Yu followed the manager upstairs under the envious gazes of the people in the line. Shen Mingxi owns this restaurant? Huamin finally understood. Yeah. It's not owned by the Shen family. It's his own. I heard that Wei Ying likes Korean barbecue, so they used to fly to Seoul on weekends. Later, Shen Mingxi found it troublesome, so he opened his own restaurant. The chefs he hired are all from Korea. No wonder it's so delicious. Young Master Shen is really rich. Huamin didn't know much about Shen Qingxi. Every time he met him, it was because of Su Yu. They met a few times. Shen Qingxi was cold and aloof, and Hua Yanyan loved him dearly. Later, he heard that he was with Wei Ying. The marriage between the Shen family and the Wei family caused a stir in the area. In other words, Shen Qingxi was Wei Liao's brother-in-law. They walked up and sat down in the quietest private room. Huamin ordered some vegetables and meat. Su Yu ordered a bottle of sake. Why did you order wine? Who's drinking? Huamin was puzzled. I'm drinking. You want to drink and drive in broad daylight? Who said I'm drinking and driving? You can drive. Su Yu laughed. Okay, you win. Huamin was so angry that he laughed. This was the first time she had come out to eat since she gave birth to the baby. Her mood was completely different. She felt like she was a little bird that had been locked in a cage for a long time and finally had a little bit of freedom. You haven't finished your confinement period yet. Are you really okay, Mom? Su Yu was a little worried. It had been less than 30 days since he was born. There were still a few more days before his birthday. But Huamin had already started to run out. Was it really possible? When have you ever seen a Western woman go through confinement? Huamin asked. That's true. I don't think I've ever seen them in confinement. It's not that I'm tough, it's just that the cultural traditions are different. Actually, it's pedantic to not bathe or wash your hair during confinement. If anyone doesn't bathe or wash their hair in such a hot room, won't they stink for a month? She just needs to keep warm and not catch a cold. She's not so delicate that she can't go out and meet people. Okay, whatever you say is right. I won't argue with you. Su Yu smiled as he looked at Huamin. Then he picked up a piece of barbecued meat and placed it on her plate. Su Yu enjoyed eating quietly with Huamin like this. He felt especially happy. He sat across from her and chatted with her, put food on her plate, and poured water for her. Su Yu had never felt so happy about something as simple as this before. When it was time to pay the bill, the manager was extremely polite. Young Master Su, please don't make things difficult for us. Our young master already said that everything is on the house. Okay, thank your young master for me. When he comes back from his business trip, I'll buy him a drink. When Su Yu and Huamin finished eating and walked out, they bumped into Huasiqian. Chapter 1748. Beside him was a young girl who looked quite cute. The lady was dressed in a socialite suit. It was pink and looked very delicate. Her hair was neatly trimmed and she had big eyes. I was wondering why my left eyelid kept twitching today. It turns out there's good news. Little sister Mion, you came out before your confinement. You're so naughty. Seeing Huamin's figure from afar, Huasiqian's mood improved greatly. The moment he saw Huamin's face up close, Huasiqian's eyes were filled with endless gentleness. It was already very cold in the north in November. The two little princesses were born on October 23rd. They were standard little scorpions. They were almost full term, which meant that it was the end of November. The people walking on the streets were all wearing cashmere coats and leather jackets. Some old people who were afraid of the cold had already changed into cotton-padded jackets when they woke up early. Huamin wore a long white fishtail dress with a flouncy collar and cuffs. She was dressed in pearls. She was very noble and elegant, wearing a thin, short black jacket. Black and white matched, simple and elegant. Huasiqian hadn't seen Huamin's face in a long time, and he really missed her. So, regardless of where they were, they greeted each other as soon as they saw each other. Huamin stared at Huasiqian impolitely and didn't say anything. She only glanced at him coldly. Yen Ruashi, who was beside Huasiqian, looked at Huamin and then at Huasiqian curiously. Huasiqian, are they your friends? Sorry, we're not close, Huamin denied directly and then walked forward with Su Yu. Huasiqian reached out and grabbed Huamin's sleeve. Mion, after not seeing you for so long, you won't even give me a luxurious smile? Huamin was furious. If there weren't so many people around, she would have slapped him. Let her go. Su Yu immediately walked over and shook off Huasiqian's hand. Do you remember I warned you not to touch him again? Otherwise, I'll kill you. Su Yu glared fiercely at Huasiqian. The murderous intent in his eyes seemed to be able to cut Huasiqian into 1,000 pieces. Hee, I'm just kidding. President Su, why are you in such a hurry? Who the fuck is joking with you? Scram. After Su Yu scolded Huasiqian, he ignored the gazes of others and held Huamin's hand tightly. The two left the restaurant. Huasiqian turned around and his gaze fell on Su Yu and Huamin's tightly clasped hands. His gaze was deep. Your friend is so fierce, he can't even take a joke. Yen Ruashi thought that Su Yu and Huamin were being immature. She thought that Huasiqian was a good person. Mayor Yen was transferred here from another city, so his daughter was new to the city. She didn't know who Su Yu and Huamin were. Therefore, she didn't understand what was going on at all. Are you okay? Su Yu comforted Huamin as they walked out of the restaurant. Huamin subtly withdrew her hand, and her expression gradually calmed down. I'm fine. When I saw him, I thought of too many things and couldn't control myself. I know. Su Yu looked at her with heartache. Let's go home. Okay. After speaking, Huamin opened the car door and sat in the driver's seat. Can you still drive? Su Yu asked with a smile when he saw how angry Huamin was. I can't let you drink and drive. Huamin also smiled slightly. Then, Huamin drove Su Yu back to the Su family's Lamborghini. In a private room upstairs of a Korean barbecue restaurant, Huaxiqian, who was that girl just now? Why do I feel like you're treating her so well? Yen Ruashi asked nosily. Upon hearing her question, Huaxiqian paused in the middle of wiping his hands slightly. Chapter 1749. She's my little sister. Oh, so she's your little sister? Yen Ruashi was delighted to hear this. Huamin didn't deny it, but he didn't admit it either. He just smiled faintly. But why do I feel like you two don't look alike at all? Which family is she from? Are you related by blood? Yen Ruashi's questions came one after another, overwhelming him. Huaxiqian elegantly picked up the menu and asked her, do you like beef or steak? Imichem? Yen Ruashi froze. They weren't even on the same frequency. Beef is fine, steak is too tough, my teeth aren't that good, I can't bite through it. Huaxiqian nodded and called the waiter over. 2 roast beef sets, 1 fruit salad with blueberry jam, 1 coconut milk sago. Okay, President Hua, please wait a moment. Yen Ruashi asked with admiration, wow, how did you know I like fruit salad with blueberry jam and coconut milk sago? I saw you eat a lot last time we had dinner, Huaxiqian said nonchalantly. You're such a careful person, even my dad couldn't tell. No wonder you're so young and successful. Huaxiqian's lips curled into a smile when he heard her praise and admiration. He didn't say anything. You have so many actresses under your company. They're all so beautiful. Don't you have a girlfriend? Why not? Because there's someone I like. She's always been in my heart. Oh, I know, it must be your late wife. You're so affectionate. She's such a lucky woman, you still remember her even after she died. Yen Ruashi sighed softly. Huaxiqian didn't deny or answer because he didn't need to say too much to this little girl. He was only eating with her because he wanted to give Mayor Yen face. Then, are you willing to find another girlfriend in the future? Huaxiqian didn't answer. Instead, he raised his head and glanced at her. Yen Ruashi immediately blushed. What I mean is, if you meet a woman who likes you and pursues you in the future, will you say yes? I don't think so, Huaxiqian replied calmly. Oh. Yen Ruashi was a little disappointed. I saw in an entertainment magazine that you dated Mo Shui before. Is that true? His daughter was indeed curious about everything. She even wanted to gossip about such things. Huaxiqian thought for a moment before replying calmly, we haven't dated. We've only slept together. You slept with him, so it's just a sexual relationship? Yen Ruashi blurted out. You could say that, Huaxiqian said casually. He didn't want to curry favor with the new mayor like he did with Song Qinghua. Therefore, he didn't need to pretend in front of the mayor's daughter. Therefore, he answered Yen Ruashi's questions very casually. Ahem. That's understandable. After all, we're all adults, not monks or nuns. It's normal for us to have some sex life. Yen Ruashi said awkwardly. Huaxiqian didn't say anything. He held his phone and scrolled through the stock market. However, he kept thinking about the moment he saw Huamin at the door. She really changed after giving birth. She no longer had the naivety of a little girl. She became more mature and calm. She also had a faint maternal aura between her brows. This made Huaxiqian love her even more. His desire to have Huamin became even stronger. When Huamin and Su Yu returned, Lord Su was walking around the living room with a doll in his arms, playing with it. Su Yu walked up and snatched it away. What are you doing? Old man, let me hold it for a while. Su Yu announced domineeringly. Then let's make a bet. Do you think this is pudding or bean? Lord Su suddenly asked his grandson with interest. Chapter 1750. What's the reward for guessing right? Su Yu looked at his grandpa with a smile. What do you want? I want your 20-year-old Wuxiangya. You're greedy. Lord Su laughed. What if you lose? Tell me what you want. If you lose, you have to give me that set of precious stamps of yours. Grandpa Su demanded an exorbitant price. Old man, you're ruthless. You're eyeing my stamps. Do you still have the habit of collecting stamps? Huamin was slightly surprised and looked at Su Yu in confusion. Lady Su immediately said, Yu has been interested in stamps since he was young, so he likes to collect them. He has 5 complete sets, one of which is a limited edition. There are very few of them in the country, and the market price is more than 5 million yuan. You're amazing, brother Word. Huamin laughed. Don't think about my stamps, we don't know who's going to win yet. Then take a good look, don't get it wrong. Lord Su smiled. Su Yu looked down at the little girl in his arms tenderly. Huamin's twins were 97% alike. They were so alike. If one wasn't familiar with them, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Su Yu looked carefully and finally said with certainty, This is Little Bean. Are you sure? Lord Su asked on purpose. I'm sure, I'm very sure. Su Yu's tone was firm. You win, you're lucky. Lord Su waved his hand, obviously not satisfied with his loss. What do you mean I won? I won, okay? Old man, you have to accept your loss. Don't go back on your word. You're the chief of the military, you have to keep your word. Yes, yes. The wine is in the cellar. You can go and get it tomorrow. Son, how did you tell them apart? Sometimes even I can't tell. I'm afraid only Mian can tell them apart. Lady Su looked at her son with admiration. It's simple. Little Bean has a small red mole behind her right ear, but Pudding doesn't. You're so attentive. Lady Su praised her son with a thumbs up. Su Yu lowered his head and gently kissed Little Bean's rosy cheeks. The little guy is so cute. I like both of them. I won't be biased in the future. I'll buy the same thing no matter what I buy. I can't treat them unequally. Huamin smiled. When she saw Su Yu acting childish, she also felt that he was especially cute. During dinner, the nanny coaxed the 2 babies. As the family gathered around for dinner, Huamin received a WeChat message from Ni Yang. Sis, I'm having a celebration party at Imperial Star tomorrow night. Are you coming? What time is tomorrow night? It starts at 8 p.m. I'll go. Great, I'll wait for you. Ni Yang was very happy. Huamin put down his phone and glanced at Su Yu. Ni Yang is having a solo concert so soon? You arranged it for him? It's not a solo concert, it's a nationwide tour. He has a lot of fans, so I found a few top producers and songwriters to write more than 10 songs for him. They're very popular. The sales are very good. So there's a celebration party tomorrow night? Yeah, I think so. I rarely go to company events, Su Yu said as he ate. Then, can you take me there tomorrow night? Huamin tilted his head and looked at Su Yu. Chapter 1751. When Huamin offered to go with him, he felt different. Su Yu couldn't hide his joy, however, he pretended to be calm on the surface. Okay, let's go together. Okay, I'll drive over tomorrow night. No need, I'll pick you up. The elders listened to the conversation between Su Yu and Huamin but didn't interrupt. After dinner, Su Yu went upstairs to play with the babies and then drove away. Ever since Huamin moved in, he had strictly adhered to his mother's promise. He never spent the night at home, to avoid being caught red-handed. After Su Yu left, Huamin went upstairs to take a shower and change his clothes. Mrs. Su, Mr. Su, and Lord Su were drinking tea in the living room downstairs. You and Mian are really a good match. Old Master Su was the first to bring up this topic. Dad, why do you say that too? Mr. Su glanced at the old man. It's not that I'm biased towards my grandson, but the point is, I've never seen him fall in love with a woman all these years. When he was in the army, many young and beautiful female soldiers tried to get close to him, and he was so annoyed that he wanted to run away whenever he saw a woman. After he was demobilized, he came back to start a company, and there were endless scandals. We never interfered with him because he always knew his limits and never caused trouble. But this time is really different. From the moment he pointed a gun at his head and forced me to save her, I knew it was over. He's serious this time, he's even willing to sacrifice his life. Mr. Su and Mrs. Su were silent as they listened to the old man speak. At first, I had a deep prejudice against Mian. I always thought that she was a femme fatale. A woman who could make a man so infatuated with her must be a vixen. I think the two of you might have thought the same way. Mr. Su coughed lightly, a little embarrassed. Mrs. Su was also a little embarrassed. The old man was right. In the beginning, the Su family had a deep prejudice against Huamin. It wasn't until Mian moved in and we got to know each other that I realized that you likes her personality and charm. It has nothing to do with her looks or her figure, and it has nothing to do with her future. It's pure love. Mian has lived up to our expectations and has been doing a great job. She's honest and appreciative. Logically speaking, we shouldn't have tried to steal her away before she got a divorce. But since Mian's lover isn't coming back, why can't we give you a chance? Dad, it's not that simple. You might not know this, but Mian and you are a couple. You likes her, but we can't do anything if Mian doesn't agree. We can't use our love for her to pressure her. I don't have the heart to do that, Mrs. Su said slowly. Dad, it's not good for us elders to step in, right? Mr. Su frowned slightly. What's not good about it? I think it's a good idea. When I have the chance, I'll talk to Mian. I'm sure she'll think about it. The problem is, based on the current situation, my grandson won't find another woman. His heart is all about Mian. If this continues, our Su family will have no descendants. Dad, I think we shouldn't talk about it. If Mian agrees, everyone will be happy. But if she rejects, it'll be so awkward in the future. How can we let her stay in the Su family? Lady Su didn't agree with the old man. Chapter 1752. What's the point of thinking so much? Do you think you can achieve great things if you're scared? If you don't even ask, how do you know Mian will refuse? Leave it to me. You two don't have to worry about it. Grandpa Su's words settled the matter. Mr. Su and Mrs. Su looked at each other helplessly. If only things were that simple. The problem was that things between Su Yu and Huamin weren't that simple. After a day of tiredness, Huamin took a bath with rose petals. When he came out, the babies were already asleep. Mom, are they all asleep? Huamin asked in a low voice. Yang Meirong nodded. Yeah, Little Bean was easy to coax. She fell asleep after a while. Pudding was a little harder to coax. Her eyes kept rolling around. I could tell she's a naughty girl. I played some piano music for her. Then she got sleepy and fell asleep. Huamin was wearing a bathrobe and leaned his head on his mother's shoulder. Mom, you've worked hard. Go to your room and get some rest. You have to wake up early tomorrow to take care of the little devils. Okay, I'm going back. You should go to bed early too, you're going out tomorrow, right? During dinner that night, she overheard the conversation between Huamin and Su Yu. Yeah, I'm going to Ni Yang's celebration party tomorrow, but I'll be back in a few hours. It won't be long. Don't worry about home, you can stay a little longer. Lady Su and I can take care of the little ones. You've been working hard for almost a month, it's time for you to relax. After Yang Meirong left, Huamin quietly walked over and kissed the two little ones on the forehead. Their bodies had a strong milky scent that smelled especially good. Wow. How magical. So, these are my daughters. Huamin turned on the dim light and looked at the two little ones sleeping, feeling warm inside. Then, she rolled onto the bed and fell asleep. Huamin. Here. Why are you sleeping in my class again? Is my class that boring? The physics teacher complained indignantly. He picked up Huamin, who was sleeping on the table, and taught him a lesson. It's not your fault. I'm always sleepy at this time of the day. It's purely because of my biological clock, Huamin said in a daze. The entire class burst into laughter. What are you laughing at? Shut up all of you. I've studied physics for so many years and have interacted with so many students, but your batch is the most difficult to deal with. Huamin, I heard that you're a top student? Could it be that all the top students behave like this? Teacher Wu, please calm down. I'll try not to sleep next time. I'll try my best to control my sleepiness. Huamin's words caused another round of laughter. It had been less than a week since school started, and the students weren't very familiar with each other yet. They didn't even have a monthly exam. However, they heard that Huamin was the top scholar in the middle school entrance exam, so the teachers paid extra attention to her. Qin Chu sat at the northernmost end of the table, parallel to Huamin. There were 5 or 6 students between them, so they weren't close. They never said a word, but many girls took the initiative to sit around Qin Chu. They took the initiative to talk to him, ask for his QQ number, and even write him love letters. Huamin wasn't a pretty girl, so she didn't have many suitors. However, her deskmate, Zhu Lingling, was different. She was very pretty, so she was very popular with boys. Huamin wasn't surprised. After all, everyone liked to judge a book by its cover. This was the first time that Huamin was publicly criticized by a teacher, so she immediately attracted the attention of the entire class. Chapter 1753. Qin Chu tilted his head and glanced at Huamin. His face was still expressionless, and no one knew what he was thinking. Aren't you a genius? Aren't you the top scholar in the middle school entrance exam? Come. It's been a week since school started, and I've taught you a lot of questions. Help me solve a question, and if you can get it right, I'll let you sleep in my class from now on. If you can't do it right, and if you dare to sleep in my class again, you'll be kicked out immediately. Little girl, you're so young, yet you're already so bad at school. Just because you have some talent, you don't know how to respect your teacher. I'll definitely talk to your homeroom teacher about this. This is outrageous. The physics teacher was a 50-year-old man with a strange temper. Many people didn't like him, probably because he was too old-fashioned and strict. Mr. Wu's words piqued the interest of all the students, and most of them were gloating. Zhu Lingling also broke out in a cold sweat for Huamin. She said in a low voice, "Girl, take it easy. If you can't do it, just apologize. Don't lower yourself to the level of an old man." At this moment, Huamin's consciousness finally cleared, and she completely woke up from her dream. She yawned lazily, and then said arrogantly, "Teacher, hurry up and give me the question. The class will be over soon." There was a burst of laughter around her again. Even the class monitor, Han Su, couldn't help but praise, "This girl is quite interesting." The mischievous Wei Dong added, "I like girls like her. She has a temper, she's fun, and she's arrogant." Qin Chu was still expressionless. He lowered his head and played with the mini Rubik's Cube in his hand. It was as if everything in the world had nothing to do with him. The physics teacher was angered by Huamin's words. He originally gave her a question that wasn't too difficult. However, he suddenly gave her a question that would only be given during the college entrance exam. After all, they were only in their first year of high school. No matter how good a student was in school, they wouldn't be able to solve such a difficult question if they hadn't studied it before. Looking at the dense physics equations on the blackboard, the whole class fell silent again. Some girls muttered softly, "Old Wu is trying to kill Huamin this time. If I were to solve this problem, I wouldn't be able to solve it even if I tried for 10,000 years. Just looking at it makes me pee my pants." Everyone was quietly waiting to watch the drama unfold. They wanted to see the girl who was the legendary top scorer in the middle school entrance exam embarrass herself. "You can come up now." After the physics teacher gave the question, he looked at Huamin. Huamin raised his wrist and looked at his watch. "Teacher, there are still 15 minutes before the end of class. I have enough time to solve the questions, but I have a small request. Go ahead." The physics teacher looked at Huamin seriously. "If I solve it correctly, can you let me off a few minutes earlier? I'm a little dizzy from sleeping and want to go out for a walk to get some fresh air." After Huamin finished speaking, the entire class went into an uproar. Was there really such an arrogant girl? Was she trying to go to heaven? Wasn't that too willful? At this moment, the physics teacher's face was ashen. "You have to answer it correctly first, then you can negotiate with me. If you get it wrong, you're in for it." "Don't think that I'm a pushover," Mr. Wu said word by word as he clenched his teeth. Huamin slowly got up and walked up to the stage. He picked up a piece of white chalk. Then he quickly glanced at the question. Then he quickly began to solve it. His speed was unbelievably fast. Everyone was dazzled by his answer. Fuck, is this girl cheating? She's too fast. I can't even read as fast as she writes. Chapter 1754. That's awesome. Even though I don't understand what she wrote, I can't help but feel confident. I have a feeling that this time, old Wu is going to pick this girl. Our class is going to produce a genius, the students in the classroom whispered amongst themselves, and they became even more nervous. At this moment, Qin Chu stopped playing with the Rubik's Cube. Then he gently placed the Rubik's Cube on his desk. He slowly raised his head, and there was a slight change in his eyes. Mr. Wu's question was one that only appeared during the college entrance exam, and it was a very difficult question. This wasn't the standard for first-year students, so it was obvious that he was trying to give this girl a hard time. However, this girl was actually able to solve it. She was a god. He had seen this girl's interview on TV before, and she was as arrogant as she could get. At this moment, Qin Chu's interest was piqued again, and he was ready to enjoy the show. When Huamin finished writing the last character, there was only a little bit of chalk left in her hand. She looked down at her watch and said, "For minutes and 35 seconds. It's just right, there's still time." Then, she threw the piece of chalk into the trash can and took a step back. The entire blackboard was exposed. Mr. Wu glanced at it and was a little surprised. This? How is this possible? Mr. Wu, did I do it right? Huamin smiled faintly. This kind of smile, from far away in the classroom, was reflected in Qin Chu's eyes. For some reason, he felt a little different. In his heart, there seemed to be a little ripple. Mr. Wu, Mr. Wu? Huamin saw that Mr. Wu didn't say anything, so she reached out 5 fingers and shook them. Mr. Wu came back to his senses and asked, "You've done this question before?" "I've never heard of it," Huamin said honestly. "But how is this possible?" Mr. Wu was still in shock. Not only did Huamin get it right, but she also solved it using the simplest and most shortcut that she came up with. This solution shocked Mr. Wu, but she actually got it right, and the equation made sense. "Who did you learn this from?" "I've never learned it before. I researched it myself. I've done this kind of question a few times before. This question is obviously more difficult, so I tried my own method to verify it. The result is surprisingly satisfying. I think it's not bad. What do you think?" Huamin asked the physics teacher arrogantly. Mr. Wu was dumbfounded. Finally, he came back to his senses and sighed slightly. "The student has really surpassed the master. I didn't expect there to be such an amazing student among you kids. You are indeed a genius. Not only did you answer the question correctly, but you also used your own method. It is very worthy of praise. Students, if any of you can be at the same level as this student, I will allow you to sleep in my class every day." As soon as Old Man Wu said this, the entire class went into an uproar. Damn, what kind of treatment was this? She was allowed to sleep openly in physics class. "Teacher, I still have 10 minutes. Can I go out for some fresh air?" "Go." "All right." "Hey, wait a minute," Mr. Wu suddenly shouted. Huamin turned around. "What's your name?" "Huamin." Hua as in Huamin, Mian as in Huayuanjia. Huamin smiled sweetly. In the first week of school, Huamin's name was well known in the entire class. Even the story of her fighting against the physics teacher spread throughout the entire school. Many students from other classes would climb through the window every day to see who was Huamin. The degree of development of the incident was extremely exaggerated. Qin Chu picked up the imitation toy and continued to play with it with one hand. His speed was very fast. This girl was indeed very interesting. He liked. This was the first time in his life that he was interested in a little girl. He wanted to know more about her. When class was about to start, Huamin slowly walked out of the female washroom. Then, a tall and handsome figure blocked her way at the door. "Hello, Huamin, my name is Qin Chu," he proudly introduced himself. "What does your name have to do with me?" Huamin became even more arrogant. After Qin Chu heard this, he smiled helplessly for the first time in his life. It seemed like he was right to hit a wall. Chapter 1755. Huamian couldn't help but laugh when she dreamt of this. Then, she woke up from her dream. Only then did she realize that it was all just a dream. She dreamed of the beautiful memories of high school back then. Suddenly, her heart fell to the bottom again. She turned over and got up. She was no longer sleepy. She picked up her phone and looked at it. It was already 12:30 p.m. She got out of bed gently and carefully opened the baby's diapers. She changed them into new ones and saw that the two little guys didn't look like they were going to wake up. Huamin took out a cigarette from the drawer and walked to the bathroom. She leaned against the sink and lit it up. When she was extremely depressed, she would smoke. It was a habit she had for many years. She wasn't addicted to it, she just wanted to relieve her stress. She didn't know how long she would have to wait for Xianxia like this. She also didn't know how long she could last in this aimless waiting. She missed Xianxia so much, but she didn't know who to tell. She opened Xianxia's old WeChat. She opened it and saw that it was full of chat logs. The last one was when they were preparing for the wedding. She teased him and said that she wanted to give him a red packet as a betrothal gift. Xianxia transferred $1,314,520 to her and she made a small profit. At that time, she felt sweet in her heart. Looking at it now, she felt like her heart was being cut by a knife. She didn't dare to think about what she would do if Xianxia was really dead. Was he going to spend the rest of his life alone in such a desolate state? Under extreme depression, Huamin sent Xianxia 6 words on WeChat. "Honey, I miss you so much." She waited for a few seconds, but there was no reply. She smiled bitterly, put out the cigarette, brushed her teeth, and went back to sleep. Little did she know that these 6 words also disturbed the heart of a man on the other side of the world. He had always been on WeChat and had been relying on their old chat logs and photos of Huamin to get through this hellish time. The moment he received this message, he couldn't help but want to reply to Huamin. But he knew that he had to hold back. Now wasn't the time. Xianxia stared at his phone, feeling terrible. He just stood there, motionless. It was as if she could see Huamin on the other end of the phone. At this moment, a bell rang. Xianxia hesitated for a moment before picking it up. It was Lu Yan. "Xiao Fei is almost out of danger." "Thank you." "No need." "Do you need my help?" "It's all for my sister. I also want to investigate this Wuxia. I have a feeling that he has something to do with Ian." "No need." "Why you like a block of wood?" "I'm just being nice. I don't need your kindness." After speaking, Xianxia hung up the phone. He was still the same, uninterested in anyone other than Huamin. Not even Huamin's biological sister. Damn, this man's temper is really annoying. This is the first time I've met someone who dared to hang up on me. If he wasn't my brother-in-law and your savior, I would have blown him up right now, Lu Yan said angrily. Xiao Fei had already woken up. He looked at Lu Yan and said domineeringly, "I want water." "Okay, wait here." Lu Yan poured a glass of water for him but found that Xiao Fei couldn't even get up. It was very inconvenient for him to drink like this. "Don't you have a straw here? I'll go ask the nurse for one." Lu Yan was about to leave when Xiao Fei grabbed her hand. She turned around. "What?" Chapter 1756. No straw. "It's dirty," young Master Qiao said proudly. "Damn it. Big brother, you look half dead. How can you drink without a straw? Are you going to die of thirst?" Lu Yan was baffled. Xiao Fei looked at her for 3 seconds and said calmly, "I want you to feed me." What did you say?" "I want you to feed me, with your mouth." Xiao Fei's expression didn't change. "Are you crazy? I'm giving you face, Xiao Fei. I don't care. If you don't feed me, I won't drink. It's up to you. You deserve it if you die of thirst." Lu Yan was bad-tempered. Hearing Xiao Fei's words, he was also very angry and directly became angry. Xiao Fei turned his head away and didn't speak. Lu Yan lowered her head. She was angry. Time passed by. Half an hour later. Lu Yan glanced at Xiao Fei and found his lips were dry. He looked pitiful. Her heart softened. "You really don't want to drink water?" Xiao Fei didn't speak. "Damn it. But I give up. I'll freeze to death if I'm in a cold war with a polar bear like you. I'm just going to feed you." I'm going all out. Just treat it as feeding a dog, okay? Xiao Fei. Then, Lu Yen drank a mouthful of water and walked over. She went all out and stuffed Xiao Fei's mouth, then fed him the water. Xiao Fei listened and drank all the water. I want more. Xiao Fei continued to order. Lu Yan's face flushed slightly. Why are you so nosy? I want more. Xiao Fei repeated. Okay. I give up. I'll make you drink to death. Lu Yan jumped into Xiao Fei's trap and fed him mouthful by mouthful. At first, he was drinking obediently. Then, for some reason, it turned into a strange kiss. Lu Yan felt like her brain was short-circuiting. She was used to fighting and killing, so she had never experienced such a situation before. She only felt that there was something soft in her mouth that kept stirring the noodles. It was a magical feeling. Her heart was beating faster than usual. Psycho Chow. Hey, you're taking advantage of me. Shh. Don't talk, you're so noisy. As soon as Xiao Fei regained his strength, he kissed Lu Yan wildly, almost suffocating her. In the end, it was the nurse who pushed the door open and interrupted them. Miss Lu, young Master Qiao's body is still weak. Can you give him some time to recover? Lu Yan. In the nurse's eyes, it was Lu Yan's fault. It was so weird. Lu Yan was about to explode. Xiao Fei said gently, Yan, I'm a little hungry. Can you buy something to eat? Lu Yan didn't know if it was her imagination, but she felt that Xiao Fei sounded especially gentle when he called her name today. Okay, I'll go buy it. Then, Lu Yan walked out of the room. Xiao Fei's face immediately turned cold and he looked at the nurse. Call my father over. Young Master Qiao, you're still very weak. You need to rest, cut the crap. Let my father do it. Xiao Fei's eyes were gloomy. She was completely different from when she was lying to Lu Yan. The nurse did not dare to delay and immediately ran out. When Lu Yan came back with the kanji, Xiao Fei switched to his gentle mode. Lu Yan fed Xiao Fei mouthful by mouthful. He reached out and placed his hand on her slender leg. Huh? Where are you touching? Do you think I won't throw a bowl of kanji at your face? Lu Yan said fiercely. Yan, if I die, will you cry for me? Xiao Fei looked at her gently. Chapter 1757. What are you talking about? You won't die. You're a cockroach, Xiao Fei. Xiao Fei wasn't a nice guy to have fallen in love with a woman like Lu Yan. He had been chasing after her for years, but he never felt tired. He had traveled all over the world, from the Alps to the Himalayas, but this time, Xiao Fei really thought he was going to die. This was the first time he felt so close to death. He ate a small mouthful of porridge and said slowly, This time, I really thought I was going to die. Before I fainted, the last scene in my mind was the first time we met. Do you remember? The first time we met? When was that? I forgot. Lu Yan wasn't as emotional as Xiao Fei. It was when you were 10 years old. My father and I went to Amsterdam for the first time to find you and your father. At that time, you were standing in a field of tulips, wearing a yellow dress. From afar, you were as beautiful as a painting. Xiao Fei was a cold person and would never say such sentimental words. Hearing him say this, Lu Yan felt shy, and her cheeks blushed again. You were a pervert at such a young age. Lu Yan joked. When I saw you, I thought that my life with you must be colorful. When I was 10 years old, I often traveled between countries. My old man was always chased by people and couldn't take me with him. When I saw you in Holland, my dad and I had just killed a lot of people. I was a bit depressed, so I changed into pretty clothes and went to the tulips to find redemption. Xiao Fei, I'm not a fairy, I'm a murderer. I'm not a socialite, I'm not a movie star, and I'm not a good girl from an ordinary family. I'm the leader of a world-famous mercenary group, Lu Yan, one of the top 10 assassins in the world. I'm a criminal wanted by Interpol. I'm not as good as I say. Lu Yan lowered her head slowly. For the first time, she hated her profession. Yan, there's something I've always wanted to tell you. I thought I had a lot of chances, but this time, I realized that we were almost separated by life and death. Lu Yan slowly raised her head. Xiao Fei held her hands tightly with both of his. If you're an angel, I'll follow you to heaven. If you're a demon, I'll follow you to hell. No matter where you are, I'll be with you. Xiaofei. Actually, before Lu Yan could say yes or no, she heard the door open. Lu Yan immediately pulled back her hand and stood up to keep a distance from him, afraid that others would notice. Third brother, it's good that you're awake. Father Qiao looked relieved. Uncle, you guys chat first. I'll go out and buy some fruits for him. Then Lu Yan dashed out. Father? I was injured this time, and I suspect that a mole leaked my whereabouts. Yeah, Lu Yan said the same thing. I've asked someone to investigate this. Mr. Qiao nodded. Father, have you investigated my second brother? Xiao Fei suddenly asked coldly. Your second brother? Do you suspect that Xiaonan? Father Qiao's eyes widened as he looked at his son in disbelief. Chapter 1758. The father and son of the Qiao family were discussing the mole in the hospital room. Lu Yan, on the other hand, suddenly had a strange idea. She dialed a number. Dad, what's up? Xiao Fei woke up. I know. How did you know? If I didn't know about this, how could I survive? I would have been caught a long time ago, Professor Lu said proudly. Dad, I want to go back to see my sister. No, I know you won't agree. I just want to go back quietly. I don't want to disturb her. I still want to see my twin nieces. You have to. Don't you remember how you were chased the moment you got off the plane last time? I'll be careful this time. I said no means no. Don't cause me trouble. Dad, don't hang up yet. I have something to tell you. What is it? Qin Chu. My brother-in-law has an injury on his leg. I think it's because of this that he's unwilling to go back to see my sister. Can you help him? You're so good at medicine. Maybe you can cure him. I know about his injury, but there's nothing I can do. You should know that I'm not that good at medicine. I'm good at chemistry and physics, and I can research all kinds of explosives and biochemical weapons. That's why I'm being targeted. You've inherited my genes, and you're an explosive genius. Your sister, on the other hand, is a medical genius like your mother. Qin Chu's leg is very complicated and difficult to treat. He's a genius doctor, but even he can't do anything about it. What can I do? Unless... Professor Lu paused intentionally. Unless what? Lu Yan asked. Unless your mother. She might have a way. But my mother... Lu Yan hesitated at the mention of her mother. Okay, I still have things to do. I'll warn you one more time. Before Ian is taken care of, you're not allowed to go near your sister. Professor Lu hung up the phone. What the hell? I can't even visit my own sister and nieces. How am I supposed to survive if I'm afraid of this and that? Seriously? Immediately, Lu Yan felt dejected and listless. You damn pervert, I'll definitely find a way to blow you into pieces. But Lu Yan felt like she was going crazy. For the first time in her life, she felt like Ian was a difficult enemy to deal with. Ian had been the most difficult opponent and enemy to deal with over the years. Lu Yan had almost died in his hands several times. She had been playing a game of cat and mouse with him at the same time in the Su family villa. That night, Su Yu drove back on time to pick up Huamin for the celebration party. He had even brought several sets of formal attire for Huamin to choose from, but Huamin had already prepared everything for himself. It was rare to see Huamin dressed so elegantly in a long pink gown. When she tilted her shoulders were slightly exposed. It was especially sexy, but it didn't reveal too much. The white high heels were simple and elegant. Huamin's shoulder-length hair had also unknowingly grown longer. Today, she only had a simple braid, which was half-coiled. Behind her left ear, there was a red daisy, which was just right for decorating. Su Yu didn't deny that his heart began to race when he saw Huamin like this. She had never been a great beauty, but when she was beautiful, she could steal people's souls. I even prepared several sets of formal attire for you. It seems like I didn't do much? Su Yu smiled. How about this one? I bought it a long time ago. I didn't wear it much, so I asked someone to get it from South Hill Manor. Su Yu looked at Huamin in a daze. He felt his heart beating faster and faster. Dr. Hua, you look really beautiful today, Suyu said slowly after a pause. Chapter 1759. Thank you. Huamin smiled slightly. Suyu was wearing a black and white shirt with diamond-studded cuffs and buttons. He was only wearing a pair of simple black trousers, but it didn't affect his kingly aura at all. The black Lamborghini sped through the night and finally stopped in front of a 5-star hotel that Imperial Star recently acquired. As soon as they got out of the car, they were surrounded by reporters. Miss Hua, long time no see. Congratulations on clearing your name. Miss Hua, you disappeared for almost a year. Where have you been in the past year? Were you overseas? Miss Hua, why are you here? Where's your husband, Mr. Qin? Miss Hua, rumors say that you're President Su's girlfriend. Do you have anything to say about this? Miss Hua, does your sudden appearance at Imperial Star mean that GK and Imperial Star are going to work together? Miss Hua, the truth about Song Yishi's death has been revealed, but we're all curious as to why you turned yourself in as a murderer. Is there a hidden reason? Huamin didn't answer the reporter's questions. He only smiled slightly, and she followed Suyu into the hotel lobby. Suyu's assistant stood behind them to maintain order. I'm sorry, everyone. Today is Imperial Star's celebration party and we won't be accepting any interviews. President Su and Miss Hua won't be answering any questions that have nothing to do with the movie. Thank you, everyone. Sis, you're here. And Yang walked over from afar. Dressed in a handsome black suit, he looked like a superstar from head to toe. You're so handsome today. Kid, you're indeed a good-looking guy. You live up to your reputation, Huamin praised with a smile. And Yang smiled and glanced at Suyu. President Su, we can start now. Is everyone here? Suyu looked down at his watch. Wait a bit. Jie isn't here yet? And Yang replied anxiously. Little Jie is coming. Are you going to announce your relationship? Huamin was stunned. I'm not going to make it public. I just want her to accompany me and witness my glorious moment. Suyu chimed in, and Yang just signed a contract with Imperial Star, so he's not stable yet. I don't think he should go public with his relationship now. After he wins a few more awards and acts in a few more TV shows, his popularity will stabilize. By then he can even get married and have children without any problems. After all, fans nowadays are rational fans. They won't be so stupid as to commit suicide just because their idol is getting married. Yes, that's a good idea. Huamin nodded, agreeing with Suyu's idea. Then, the two of them walked into the inner area. The Imperial Star Palace was full of stars. In the luxurious hall, dozens of tables were filled with people, regardless of whether it was a big shot or a D-lister, all of them were present. Rather than calling it Yang's celebration party, it was more like a gathering of Imperial Star's employees. Suyu and Huamin walked in and sat down at the first table. It was obvious that they were very important people. Suyu gently pulled out a chair for Huamin and asked her to sit down. He helped her put her jacket on the chair and sat down next to her. Then, he opened a bottle of water for her. This series of actions caused everyone's eyeballs to pop out. The female celebrities began to gossip in private. Wow, who is that woman? President Su is so nice to her. I've been at Imperial Star for 5 years, and I've never seen President Su treat a woman so well. Even Jian Tong, who was his favorite at the peak of her career, didn't receive such treatment. Look, don't you think that woman looks a bit like Mian? No, Mian looks like her. After Mian's plastic surgery, a lot of people complained about how she didn't look pretty and how she wanted to be more pure. It turns out she's imitating President Su's new lover. What a scheming bitch. Jian Tong and Zhao Qingya both lost to her. She looks familiar. Why does she look like GK's Lady Qin? Some female celebrities seem to recognize her. Chapter 1760. Anyways, to be able to appear at such a grand event and be by President Su's side, she's definitely not someone to be trifled with. Let's just watch the show. Jian Tong sat at the second table. The moment she saw Huamin, she immediately felt extremely pissed. No wonder President Su wasn't moved no matter how much she tried to seduce him. It was because she was by his side. While Su Yu stood up to chat with the company's executives, Jian Tong stood up and walked over with a glass of wine. Miss Wu. Oh no, I should call you Mrs. Qin. Miss Jian. Huamin turned around and glanced at Jian Tong's face. Long time no see. Jian Tong smiled fakely. Yeah, long time no see. So you divorced your husband, President Qin, and are now with President Su? Jian Tong asked straightforwardly. Huamin's face immediately darkened. Where did you find that out? Huamin laughed. As someone's wife, isn't it the best proof that you don't follow your husband and always hang out with other men? So, you think that there's only one kind of relationship between a man and a woman, right? Huamin asked back. Jian Tong smiled contemptuously. What else? Are we good friends? Or best? You shouldn't be saying that to me. You should ask President Su. Jian Tong's expression changed slightly. Miss Jian, you're a popular actress and have been in the entertainment industry for many years. I thought you would have some backbone. I didn't expect you to be someone who bullies the weak and fears the strong. You pick on the weak, right? Unfortunately, I'm not a weak person. After saying this, Huamin turned around and glanced at Su Yu, who wasn't far away. Su Yu. Yeah. Su Yu immediately turned around. Come here for a moment. Huamin waved his hand and called Su Yu over. What's wrong? Su Yu looked at Huamin gently. Your employee wants to know what our relationship is. I'm too lazy to explain. Even if I did, she might not believe me. Come on, tell her what our relationship is. Huamin looked at Jian Tong arrogantly. Jian Tong had no idea that Huamin would be so straightforward as to directly call Su Yu over. She had not expected this at all. She was so scared that her face turned ashen. She was no longer embarrassed. She was afraid that Su Yu would get angry. Su Yu turned his head and glanced at Jian Tong. A trace of displeasure flashed through his eyes. Huamin and I are good friends. Is there a problem? No. Jian Tong lowered her head and didn't dare to speak loudly. Su Yu continued, Also, when did my employees have the right to ask about my personal life? Is Imperial Star very free right now? Do you guys have nothing better to do? Did I arrange too few jobs for you? No. I was just casually asking Miss Hua. President Su, you misunderstood. After speaking, Jian Tong immediately turned around and didn't dare to say another word. She gritted her teeth in anger. She didn't think that Huamin would complain to Su Yu and ask Su Yu to teach her a lesson. This woman was too despicable. Dr. Hua, are you satisfied with my answer? Su Yu turned his head and looked at Huamin with a gentle smile. Very, thank you, President Su. You're joking with me. You don't act like a mother at all. Come on, sit down. The air conditioner is too strong. Don't catch a cold. Then, Su Yu helped Huamin sit down and put his jacket on her. His gentle gesture caused another uproar in the studio. At this moment, all the female artists at Imperial Star were so jealous that their eyes almost turned red. Chapter 1761. Not far away, Mian watched the scene unfold with envy and jealousy. That woman wasn't stunning, didn't have a gorgeous aura, and wasn't very young either. She wasn't a movie star either. Yet, she was able to make Su Yu listen to her. She was probably the only person in the world who could do that. Mian, aren't you going to propose a toast to President Su? Look, Jian Tong just went over. She even talked to President Su's date. Mian's date beside her teased her. Mian sneered. I'm not as stupid as Jian Tong. If you want to stay here, you need to know your place and be obedient. President Su isn't that easy to win over. Those greedy people will only hurt themselves and others. Mian now knew that it was impossible to seduce Su Yu. It was better to be an obedient dog and do whatever it was told to do. Perhaps it was because Jian Tong was too famous and arrogant, so she didn't know what to do when she did things. Yang's celebration party was very grand. His status as Imperial Star's #1 was unparalleled. Yang sang 3 songs, all of which were very good. One of them was a very lyrical song. It was a cover of an actress's Little Luck. At the most emotional part of the song, he turned his head and looked tenderly at Xianxia, who was sitting beside Huamin. So you're the luck that I want to keep the most. We were so close to love. The decision to fight the world for me, the reign with me. Every scene was because of you. Your pure heart. Xianxia was very touched. She nervously clutched her blue pleated dress under the table. In the beginning, Xianxia was afraid to be with Yang because of the difference in their statuses. Later on, no matter what difficulties he encountered, she would silently accompany him. The relationship between the two of them gradually warmed up and stabilized to the point that they were already discussing marriage. Huamian liked these two kids very much because they both had the best of personalities. After Yang finished singing, female celebrities came on stage one after another to perform. Jian Tong was supposed to sing as well, but she left early for some unknown reason, saying that she wasn't feeling well. After Yang got off the stage, he sat down next to Xianxia and chatted with Huamin and the others. During dinner, Huamin got up and went to the bathroom. When she came out, she was blocked at the door. Huamin, long time no see. Huamin raised his head and was slightly startled when he saw who it was. It was Jiang Yi, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. Only then did Huamin remember that he was also an artist signed by Imperial Star. However, he was not as popular as Yang because of his age. But I didn't see him at the opening of the concert tonight. According to his status, he should be sitting at the same table as Su Yu and the others, or, at the very least, he should be sitting at the same table as Jian Tong, so Huamin was quite surprised to see him here. What do you want? Huamin glanced at his face. You look beautiful today. Jiang Ye's eyes were filled with amazement. He hadn't seen Huamin in a long time. Today, he saw her in a gown with exquisite makeup on. She was wearing Huamin. He was truly pleasantly surprised. Originally, he didn't want to attend Yang's celebration party. In the morning, Shui said to him in a weird tone, You should go. What if you see the girl of your dreams? This made Jiang Ye's heart flutter. He didn't know what was wrong with him. He was a veteran in love, but his heart was taken over by a little girl. He hadn't seen Huamin for almost a year, but his longing for her only increased. Chapter 1762. Jiang Yi even greedily thought that if Huamin wasn't a genius doctor, Qin Chu's wife, and Su Yu's goddess, how nice would it be if she was just an ordinary little girl who could be by his side every day and be spoiled by him. Thank you for the compliment. After Huamin spoke in a distant manner, she turned to leave. Huamin, I heard that Qin Chu is dead. Jiang Ye's straightforward words made Huamin's heart ache. She turned around and looked at him with hostility. You don't have to look at me like that, I'm just stating the truth. Huamin stared at her for a few seconds and suddenly laughed. Mr. Jiang, does my family matter have anything to do with you? It does. I actually wanted to say that if Qin Chu is dead and you're single right now, can I pursue you? Mr. Jiang, you seem to be seriously ill. I suggest you go to Southside's psychiatrist when you're free. The doctors there are very authoritative. After speaking, Huamin turned around and left without looking back. She didn't even want to talk to this boring man. Jiang Yi looked at her slender figure and raised his finger to touch his lips. She's still so unique. I love her to death. What should I do? Jiang Yi finally understood why Huasiqian was so obsessed with Huamin. However, he hated Shui, that the core Shui was just an empty shell. She was a woman with no substance at all. No woman could keep a man's heart with her beauty. Shui thought she was smart, but in reality, she was stupid. It was easy to get tired of her. On the other hand, Huamin was a calm and collected woman. She was like a spring breeze that blew directly into the softest part of a person's heart. Compared to Qin Chu, Su Yu, and Huasiqian, Jiang Yi had no chance of winning. He was just a clown, but he was still willing to love her, just like how one-sided love would also make him feel happy. It was almost 10 o'clock by the time the banquet was over. Huamin and Su Yu walked out of the hotel. Just as they were about to get into the car, Huamin's phone rang. Why don't you pick it up? Who's calling? Suyu wondered. It's Wuxia. Looking at the familiar caller ID, Huamin replied coldly. Give it to me. Suyu rushed to take it. Don't worry about him, I won't pick up his calls anymore. Huamin said as he got into the car. Halfway there, Huamin lowered his head and was surprised to see that there was a new video on his phone. It was also from Wuxia. Huamin had a bad premonition. He opened the video and his face turned pale. Suyu, stop the car. Huamin suddenly yelled. Suyu immediately slammed on the brakes, and the car came to a stop by the side of the road. What's wrong? I just remembered that I left something at the hotel. I'll go get it. What is it? It's a handbag, Huamin said in a panic. Really? I'll go get it for you. Then I'll wait for you here. I'll go sit at the bubble tea shop over there. Huamin pointed at the bubble tea shop on the side of the road. No, it's too dangerous for you to be alone. Suyu was worried. I'll be fine. This is a public place, I won't run around. What's the matter? You drive so fast, you'll be back in less than 10 minutes. Okay, don't run around. I'll be back in 8 minutes, Suyu said. Okay. Huamin forced a smile. As soon as Suyu drove off, she immediately hailed a taxi. Miss, where do you want to go? Tianfu Road, the Hua family mansion, Huamin said word by word. Chapter 1763. We're going to the Hua mansion. Miss, what's your relationship with Huamin? Are they relatives? The taxi driver asked nosily. Huamin didn't answer, her mind was filled with images from the video. In the video, Zhu Lingling was lying in a dark room, fast asleep. She was probably drugged. She was only wearing a flimsy nightgown. Wuxia left a message in the video. Mian, I want to see you at home in half an hour, or else. Zhu Lingling will be raped tonight, and the video will be released the next day. Do you think the Gao family will still want her? Will Gao Ran still love her? Huamin's brain was about to explode. She would never let anything happen to Zhu Lingling. She had only been married for a short time. If something happened to Lingling because of her, she would blame herself for the rest of her life. Wuxia, don't do anything rash. I'll be there right away. Huamin didn't even think about it. Even if it was a tiger's den, she would still go. However, she felt sorry for Suyu because she lied to him again. Sir, can you drive faster? I'm in a hurry. Miss, it's right up ahead, don't worry. When they arrived, Huamin took out 100 yuan and threw it to the taxi driver. Then she quickly got out of the car. It was already 10 p.m. The Hua mansion was pitch black, as if no one lived there. After Wuxia died, Jiang Hong and Wuxia turned against each other and moved back to her mother's home. Wuxia was the only one left in the huge mansion. He seemed to have a lot of feelings for this place, as if it was his only home. Huamin walked up to the door and pressed the doorbell. To be honest, she was scared. She was scared of Wuxia. She didn't know what would happen if she walked into this house today. But she had to come. She had to save Lingling. Wuxia, that bastard, only knew how to threaten the people around her. The door slowly opened. Miss, you're back? The person who opened the door was the Hua family's former housekeeper. She knew Huamin, so she was pleasantly surprised when she saw Huamin. Huamin was also a little surprised. Where's Wuxia? Young master is in the study. He'll be down soon. I just finished preparing dinner. Young master said that you'd come back for dinner today. It's true. The nanny was very enthusiastic and invited Huamin in. The decorations of the Hua mansion were exactly the same as before. After Huamin walked in, he looked around and didn't find any trace of Lingling. He guessed that maybe she wasn't locked up here. Just then, she heard footsteps coming down the stairs. She looked up and saw Wuxia walking down the stairs in a light pink shirt. Mian, you're here. Where's Lingling? Huamin asked in a cold voice. Wuxia smiled. Don't worry, she'll be fine. I'm already here. I want you to let her go immediately. I already did. She should be sleeping at home right now. If you don't believe me, you can call her. Upon hearing this, Huamin immediately took out his phone and dialed Lingling's number. He couldn't get through to Lingling just now, but now he could. After 3 rings, Zhu Lingling picked up the phone in a daze. Mian, Ling Ling, where are you? I'm sleeping at home. Where's Gao Ran? He's on the night shift. He won't be back until morning. Are you okay? I'm fine, what's wrong? It's so late. Zhu Lingling was a little confused. I'm fine, go to sleep. Lock the door and be careful. Then Huamin hung up the phone. I didn't lie to you, did I? Hua Xiqian, what on earth do you want? Huamin stared at Hua Xiqian's face and had a bad feeling. Chapter 1764. Mian, why do you always ask me what I want every time we meet? What do you think I want? You're so smart, how could you not know what I'm thinking? Hua Xiqian sneered. How would I know what the devil is thinking? After all, we're not the same kind of people. Huh, why do I feel like you're full of resentment? Huamin didn't say anything and only looked at her cautiously. Don't be afraid, I won't do anything to you. If I really wanted your body, you wouldn't be safe and sound right now. It's not like you haven't stayed overnight in this house before. Huamin was shocked. Then, Hua Xiqian walked towards the dining room. Mian, come and have supper with me. I won't make things difficult for you. I'll also let Zhu Lingling go as we agreed. Don't make me unhappy, or else I won't be so nice next time. Are you threatening me? Huamin looked at Hua Xiqian angrily. You can take it that way. Huamin didn't come prepared today, so she didn't have any homemade bombs like last time. Hua Xiqian knew that Huamin didn't come prepared this time, so he guessed that she wouldn't be able to escape unscathed. Why are you still standing there? Come and eat. Hua Xiqian's eyes were full of love. When can I leave? I told you to wait until after dinner. Hua Xiqian, you have to know, even if I didn't prepare today, Su Yu will find me if he finds out that I'm missing. Huamin stared into Hua Xiqian's eyes and said, word for word. You're using Su Yu to threaten me? Do you think I'm afraid of him? Hua Xiqian smiled, a deep smile on his face. Huamin didn't say anything. He just looked at her. Mian, everyone says you're smart, but sometimes you're so silly that you're adorable. If I really wanted to do something to you, do you think I'd let Su Yu find me? And even if he did find you in time, I would have done everything I could. Just like now, even if I did something to you, you wouldn't be able to resist, right? After he finished speaking, Hua Xiqian stood up and walked over. Before Huamin could react, he pressed her against the wall with both hands. The two of them faced each other, and the distance between them was extremely close. Huamin could even hear his own heartbeat. Was this the popular trend on the internet recently? Cabotin? Huamin wasn't prepared for this at all. Looking at Hua Xiqian at such a close distance, she felt her rationality crumbling bit by bit. Hua Xiqian, I'm warning you, don't do anything rash. Otherwise, I'll immediately die in front of you. You're still so silly and adorable. But I still love you so much. What should I do? His tone gradually became gentler, as if it was different from usual. His eyes were filled with lust. Huamin trembled with fear. Hua Xiqian leaned down. Huamin thought he was going to kiss her, so she tilted her head to avoid him. To her surprise, he only put his head near her neck and greedily inhaled her unique fragrance. Mian, in this world, you're the only one who can make me feel at ease. You make me feel that time is gentle, that time is still, and that life is full of happiness. Mian, am I right? You? Huamin was just about to speak when Hua Xiqian grabbed her wrist and pulled her to the dining table. Hua Xiqian, let go of me, don't touch me. Huamin was very resistant to physical contact with Hua Xiqian. It was especially disgusting. So, she struggled with all her might. Chapter 1765. Be a good girl and eat. We won't talk about anything else today, just eat supper with me, that's all. After speaking, Hua Xiqian sat down across from Huamin. There was a seafood feast on the table, with a giant Boston lobster in the middle of the table. Hua Xiqian picked up the soup bowl, filled it with seafood soup, and placed it in front of Huamin. Drink it while it's hot. It tastes really good. After speaking, Hua Xiqian began to eat. His movements were elegant and slow. Just like every other time they ate, he looked like a well-mannered gentleman. However, Huamin knew that this wasn't his true self. Huamin sat across from her but didn't move at all. To be honest, she had no appetite in front of Huaxiqian. She couldn't eat anything, even if she was hungry, she wouldn't be interested in these delicacies. Huaxiqian didn't seem to care about this awkward situation. All he wanted was for Huamin to sit across from him. Therefore, he didn't hesitate to kidnap Zhu Lingling in exchange for a chance to eat with her. In other people's eyes, his love and methods might be pitiful, but he was very satisfied with it. No matter what the process was, the result was what he wanted. Today, he just wanted Huamin to have a simple meal with him. Mian, I have a lot of work to do at the company recently. Sometimes I wonder why I'm so busy. I have more money than I can spend in this lifetime, and I've proven my worth. I can make more money, but what's the point of living like this, day after day, year after year? Is this the life I want? Huamin didn't say anything, he just listened quietly. The new female secretary has big breasts, but you can tell they're made of silicone at a glance. Her face is not bad, and her education is good as well. She's just a little too bitchy. You know that I've never lacked women, so I wasn't interested in her at all. I directly sent her to the public relations department. The company has been training female artists recently, and the auditions have also started. The judges are each more disgusting than the last. Not only do they want money, they even want to sleep with the newcomers. One is willing to be beaten, and the other is willing to be beaten, but they're actually willing to offer their bodies. Isn't a woman's first time the most precious thing? Are money and power that important? Huamin still didn't say anything, he just listened to Huaxiqian talk to himself. After Mayor Yan took office, he changed a lot of policies and is very close to the entrepreneurs in the city. I can tell that he wants to make some achievements to shut the mouths of the higher-ups. He has a daughter who's really retarded. Her IQ is low, and she needs to recharge. She really thinks she's the second Song Yisher. But to be honest, even if she's that kind of woman, I wouldn't fuck her in bed because I'm not interested. After saying a lot, Huamin still didn't say anything. Huaxiqian picked up his glass of red wine and took a sip. Then, he looked up and asked gently, "How about you, Mian? Have you been well this past year?" "Have I been well? Do you need to ask such a question? Do you think I've been well?" Huamin looked at him with a cold smile. "You're still blaming me for your Qinchu's death. But have you thought about it? He's not the only one for you. He's too selfish and only cares about himself. He doesn't care about your feelings at all. All I have to do is threaten him, and he'll divorce you immediately. A man like that is so unreliable. I don't understand why you still like him." Huaxiqian's voice was a little agitated. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.